Hello guys, and welcome back again to the channel. We are again exploring another deck tech for the Outlaws of Thunder Junction for the standard format, and we'll call this build for today as the June 1 hit, or the one hit effect, as produced by the Terror of the Peaks and the other card from March of the Machines, Yugioh and Multani. So what this deck would initially look like is like a Sudur animator, as we can see here, or somewhat we can call that one as a cheating out creatures into the battlefield, either by reanimation or just using the new card Smuggler Surprise. So what this build would initially have is a component of a mid-range deck that goes to just set up some of the hard-hitting or mid-game cards, and just pulling out the win out of nowhere by assembling these two main components. So let's take a look at the card and the breakdown. We have 17 creatures, 4 enchantments, 5 instants, 25 lands, 2 planeswalkers with Leonardo Veil, which also can be used to get your creature cards to the graveyard by the discard effect and also act as a removal, and 7 sorcery with, of course, the 4 copies of push pull to make sure that we can have this animation option in cases that we don't really get to set up the Smuggler Surprise. And let's check on what other the cards that we're going to have out of this deck. Is this build by Terror of the Peaks, which was again printed, which the original card was in Magic Core Set 2021. So it has this ability that whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So with the Yugioh's and the Mortani's power, which is 18, dealing 18 is pretty much game over in most of the situation. So what could be the other options here that we have chosen to add in this deck is this card, Bramble Familiar. It can act early on as a ramp because a 2/2 that can produce green, and later on can be used to become a sorcery adventure with the fetch quest. So in any case, you just need to just pay 2, tap, discard this card, and then return it to your owner's hand, which you can later on use as an sorcery adventure. So what fetch quest does is it will go about to let's say milling 7 cards and then putting a creature, enchantment, or land card from among the milled cards into the battlefield. So in any case, milling 7 would probably get you a high chance to hit one of these card components or the card combo, and if not, then you just go on with hitting, example, a Trumpeting Carnosaur, which can get you to discover 5, which is also act as a free spell for that kind of setup. So that which hitting also enchantment would mean that you can also hit a Cruelty of Geeks, which can be used also to read ahead and return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So in any case, we have a lot of shenanigans that can work around with this card, which I think is very important also, hence I added 4 copies of that in the main deck. Then for the other card which I mentioned, Trumpeting Carnosaur would also help here because of its ability that you can still follow all the Rakdos Discover deck strategy, that you use this one to discard it from your hand to deal 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker, and then use the Cruelty of Geeks to return it back into the battlefield. So in any case, it's still the same strategy, but more importantly, having also a good removal and also an option for your Terror of the Peaks to get around with is also very beneficial for this kind of deck build. So as you can see here, you can also have this one, since this is 5 mana cost, you can also be hit by the Discover 5 of the Trumpeting Carnosaur, therefore casting it for free again for that kind of deck. And the one of that I've considered here would also be acting to be a specific card to sort of fling your best creature, or the Yugioh and Mortani, is this Callous Soul that is only 1 copy in the deck. So it has this adventure ability wherein You can use this one to burn together. Target creature you control deals damage so equal to its power, and then sacrifice it. So in any case, if you have not yet achieved the Terror of the Peaks, you can use Carlos Sword's adventure to basically fling out Yugioh into your opponent's life total. Now for the enchantments, so I mentioned again, Cruelty of Weeks is also important. We have several options here if we can go long game. And Huntsman's Redemption will also be another option here because it can also, in a way, get you to search for library for a creature or basic land card. So aside from the 3/3 body that it can provide, it can also get you to tutor your best card. And then later on, you can get also a bonus pump effect to your creatures, and having them trample would also get you to deal damage for sure and against any champ blockers from your opponent. And for the instance, let's check again the ability of Smuggler's Surprise. This is a 1 mana cost instant that has a spree. If you get to add additional 2 colorless or 2 of any color, you can mill 4 cards and then put up to 2 creature cards and land cards from among the milled cards to your hand. And then you can also pay 5, which this ability would cheat out the 2 creature cards from your hand into the battlefield. And then you can just pay 1 to have your creatures you control with power 4 or greater gain hexproof and indestructible until the end of turn. So it's very much a very good card to have because of the versatility of this ability that you can be very useful in the most board situations. And I've also considered adding 1 Assassin's Trophy since this would need to have a good old percentage of your spot removals in the main deck to make sure that you would not be overwhelmed by any aggro creature or maybe those decks that somewhat can curve out pretty well before you can assemble your combo. And again, the veil is very important here as an edit effect for 3 mana, while it also goes to curve out with your creatures. You can also discard your Poltani and later on be reanimated by the push-pull effect. And again, push-pull is also good if there are situations that you need to kill off a top creature. You can use this one and then pull for the late game if they have your extra mana available, and 2 targets are also available from your graveyard. And the other sorcery I've considered is Analyze the Pollen, since you can also just curve out here to search for your library for a basic land card, but if you're able to collect evidence, you can insert instead a creature. So in that way, you can search out one of your components here by using the Collect Evidence 8, by making sure that your extra cards in your graveyard can also be used to fuel that combo piece that you need. And last but not the least are your land setup. We have considered a variance of 3-color or dual lands that can use to be able to fix your John colors. So 4 copies of Blacklead Cliffs, Roaming Mars also. This is the reprint. We have also considered Boosted Juice, a channel land. Of course, basic lands are also added here. Haunted Ridge also, Carpus and Forest, 3 copies. Mountain is 3 copies. A copy of Restless Cottage, a copy of Wrathful Veil, and a copy of Swamp. And 2 copies of Underground Mortuary, which can also be used to surveil one and put one of your combo piece, for example, to your graveyard so that you can reanimate later on. So that is 25 lands in total. Now check on our mana curve. It's more of the average of 4 because we have a lot of 5 drops, 4 drops here, but some of them are considered to be 3 and 2, for example, because of these cards that can act as spot removals. Also with Trumpeting Carnosaur, the 3 damage. And your color distribution is somewhat even. We have 30 for black, red is 25, green is 26, so that's quite a good distribution for the 3 colors. You can see here also the producers are pretty much even, with green as mostly the producer audits, but most probably these are still doing with the dual colors, so you wouldn't really need to worry of the good mana fix of this deck, which caters also the 3 colors scenario and setup. And last but not the least are your tokens. We have a Beast token from the Huntsman and Food token from the Restless Cottage. But overall, I think this deck would still be a good way to get you going with the new cards from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. You can still have some variants if needed. May cut out some of the card components and use cardo effects, for example, or just search library search effects. So just you can be able also to assemble it, and the variants would also be open for us to discuss. So just comment down below your suggestions and other editing or card components that we might need to add for this kind of a deck build. So I guess that's pretty much it for another Outlaws of Thunder Junction standard deck with Jund one hit. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We can still have more of this, so stay tuned for that. Notifications on as I've suggested. And thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next one.